Hello, this is Dr. Caddell, and this is just a little introduction to how to get started in Chem 101. Chem 101, the hybrid course is run through Canvas, and so first of all, if you haven't done it before, probably have, the best way to get to Canvas is from the MJC website, mjc.edu, and on the right-hand corner at the top, click on Online Classes. It'll take you to the Canvas website. Now, your username is going to be your W number. And if you haven't ever used it before, just click on this where it says Forgot Password. Check your student email, and it'll send you a link to set your password up. But let me log on here real quickly. And it's probably going to look a little different for you when you log on, but if you might have different courses on there. But look for your course that you have with me and click on that. I'll just start with this one right here. And the way I have the hybrid courses on Canvas set up is I focus them on the module section. So on the left-hand side here in this bar should be a module section. Just go ahead and click on that. And each of these different segments is what they call a module. The first module you'll see will be the syllabus module. And there's a syllabus, there's the exam and lab schedule, and a periodic table for you. So I'll click on this real quickly. So when you click on that, there's your syllabus. I'm not going to go through it with you here. The first day that we meet, I'll go through this with you and explain all that stuff to you. The schedule, this is real important here. This exam and lab schedule, this is how you know what we'll be doing every week when we meet. So this is a PDF file. When you click on this guy, it opens up this. And so, for example, for this section, on the 31st of August, we don't have an exam. For lab, we're just going to do introduction, safety, and check-in. It's going to be different depending upon what class you're in, but that's the basic idea. And periodic table is the same periodic table that I use on exam, so you have it. I have access to it whenever you need it. The next module is for the laboratory experiments. So the first laboratory experiment we'll be doing in Chem 101 is called density. When you click on that, this page opens up. If you click on this link right here, it's another PDF file. And this is my write-up of the lab, and they're all written up pretty much like this. And what you're going to do, I'll talk about this a little bit later in the video, but basically you're going to have what's called a pre-lab written up before you come to lab each week, which is basically going to be, and again I'll show you, title, purpose, procedure, and data tables. You're going to do the experiment based on the procedure that you write up. You're going to get your procedure from this right here. And I'll go into more detail the first time we meet, but the basic idea is that. And during the experiment, the laboratory, you're going to collect your data. At home, you're going to write up your laboratory report, which is going to include not only the title, purpose, procedure, and data table, also the calculations and conclusion. And then you're going to submit the lab, the completed lab, online through Canvas. And I'll show you more about that when we meet the first time, but that's basically how the labs are going to work. Now every day when we come into lab, most days when we come to lab, actually let's go back and look at the schedule again real quick. Most days when we come into lab, we're going to have an exam. Of course not the first week, but the second week we do have an exam. So the second week, which for this section would be on the 7th, we have the lab we're going to do is the density lab, the one I just showed you, and the exam is going to be on the module called measurements and numbers. Let's go back here, and if you scroll down further on the modules page, there's the measurements and numbers modules. And in this setup, a module, except for the first two, the syllabus and the labs, corresponds roughly to a chapter in a textbook. And so the way that the modules work, okay, we'll get to that exam I just showed you in a second, is within each module, there's usually pairs. The first link, the units of measurement here, that's a link to a short YouTube video of me on units of measurement. So if you click on this, and then click again, brings you here, and I'm not going to I'm not going to watch that. You guys can watch that yourself. But it's a YouTube video. And so what you should do is you go through and You should watch the video, take in notes very carefully. This is your lecture portion. That's where your lecture comes in. Take good notes. Stop it if you have to, rewind, make sure you get really good notes. And once you finish that module, work through all the calculations with me in the video. Next, okay, this link here, this is a short one question multiple choice quiz. I'm not going to take it here, but actually I'll just preview it here. So you get 2 chances for each quiz question. So read the question, answer it. There's no time limit. Click on the answer, submit quiz. If you get it wrong, now my suggestion is before you take it again, because you only have 2 chances. If you miss it both chances, you get 0 out of 1. If you get one of the chances right, you get 1 out of 1. Is to wait and ask me on one of the discussions, which I'll show you on they're on Canvas also. Ask me during my office hours, or ask somebody else, work with somebody else. But you shouldn't miss any quizzes really, because you have 2 attempts and you can get help from anywhere really that you want to. All right, so let's go back to the modules. So the idea, right, is that you go through watch the video, take the quiz. The quizzes have due dates on them. Now you can still turn them in after the due date. The due dates are mostly to keep you guys on track, because if you look back at that exam and lab schedule, you see that we have an exam almost every week. And it's one module, basically one chapter per exam. And the exams are multiple choice. You'll need a Scantron 815 for each of those. 10 to 15 questions, I guess, for each exam. And the exams are, for the most part, based on the homework problems. They are also based on the quizzes that I just showed you. These are all these quizzes in here. As well as if any examples that I work out in the lectures, I also may put some of those problems on the exams. But here's the homework. This is really important for you guys. This here is how you are going to do well in Chemistry 101, is by focusing on the homework. So each homework is a PDF file. Click like that. And I have the questions, and I have the answers in parentheses after each question. So for the first module, you can see that there are 33 questions. You don't turn this in, okay? This is for your benefit, because most of the exam questions are based very closely on the homework problems. So for example, one of the exam problems might be, okay, if this homework problem is 4.24 seconds contains how many nanoseconds, it might be 7.21 nanoseconds contains how many seconds, something like that. So really get familiar with these homework problems, you guys. This is the best thing you can do, okay? Go through these homework problems, work them out. That means write them down on paper, save all your work, go through this multiple times. That's the very best thing that you can do to be successful in Chemistry 101. So that's the idea. And so we're just going to go through the semester. Each week, okay, so we only meet once a week, and that is for the lab. But the first 30 minutes of each lab will be the exam that's scheduled for that week, if there is one scheduled. Most weeks there are, so let's go back to actually, there it is, for the schedule. So the first week, we don't have an exam, of course, but we just have safety talk, intro, and check-in. The second week of class, you already have your first exam. It's on that module I just showed you, measurements and numbers, based very closely on the homework problems. The lab, so we come in, so right away, when we start at the very first 30 minutes of lab, take that exam. It's a timed exam, 10 to 15 questions. And once we finish the exam, I'll talk about the lab. You'll do the lab, collect your data. I'll look at your pre-labs. You'll be finished. You go home, you'll write up the lab, and you'll turn it in. Now, when is it due? You know when it's due because down here in the laboratory experiments module, that date under there is the date that it's due. So the very first one for this section here anyway is due September 17th. And so as you go through, check the due dates. And the way you're going to submit that is you're going to submit them through Canvas. Let me show that real quick from a student's point of view. So when you click on the experiment, you'll see something like this, right? If you click on this, you'll see the same thing I just showed you. But once you've finished writing up everything that you need to, get it ready, click Submit Assignment, and I'll ask you where on your computer it is, right? So choose the file, click on this, find it on your computer, click on that, submit the assignment. It should be a PDF file. Whatever program you use to write up your labs, you should be able to save as a PDF file. That's the best way to submit these. So we're going to go through the semester, right? Watching the videos, taking notes, taking the quizzes, doing the homework, and taking the exams. Doing the labs, writing them up, and so then the second module is here, and so on. I'll give you guys more detail once we meet for the first time. I'll go through all this again, but that's a basic idea, so you can get started if you want to. The idea is not to get behind. So, see you soon and good luck.